So this ex-witch, man, had a lot to say from her past experience, from everything she endured, some of the crazy stuff she experienced, witnessed, vision, was a part of. I think it's a very interesting story. I only was able to watch just a few seconds of the beginning, so I'm going to get a blind eye into this, probably just like you guys are as you watch it. So I'm going to watch this through with you guys. We're going to check this out. We'll stop it in between and really, just allow the shockings to just come through and we can talk about a few of it, because I think that a lot of people don't talk about this, but it definitely is happening because it happened, because she's an ex-witch and she's sharing her stories of coming out and the things that happened while she was in. But this is definitely happening in today's time. Hashtag Taylor Swift. Let's get into this and we'll definitely be talking about it throughout. Here we go.
The trouble is, when you play with the devil, he doesn't play fair. He'll give you everything you want, all the drugs you want, all the women you want, all the promises, and all the power you want. And when he's done with you, he'll kick the legs out from under you.
Sounds like the Broadway play Damn Yankees, where they sell their soul to the devil and they become a champion baseball player.
I never saw that, but that's interesting. And that's why you hear rock stars sometimes say, I sold my soul to the devil. Because once you make that trade, he'll give you what you want. But people need to understand that the devil is not sharing his kingdom with anyone. He's selfish and hateful, and his personality is that of hate and violence. And so as I began to encounter these spirits, from a pleasant person, even though I was a fall-down drug addict, I began to take on the personality of the devil. I began to act. I began to hate. I began to become violent in my card readings.
What do you mean began to hate? You must have, you had
hate
no
all
love
the
anyway. You at all.
more.
Really?
Oh, hate all the more. And I love to see people hurt. Like, I'd like to do a card reading where I knew a man was committing adultery. I'd name names, and it was just an evil behavior. And so here I was with these spirits operating in this park, cursing people. I cursed one man's city, fell 3 stories into a wheelbarrow. Thank God that wheelbarrow was there, because he would have been killed. I was asked to...
Forget the wheelbarrow. This is why I say that that's why it's important to have a relationship with Christ, man. And that's why it's important to make sure you stay in communication and stay prayed up. Because these really, like, the Bible doesn't lie, man. These really are those things when they say that there's evil forces. It's not flesh and blood, but there's dark evil forces and dark realms and other spirits and principalities. You just never know who's really praying against you. People who are committing whatever type of acts they need to commit, whether it be spells, witchcraft, anything crazy. There's people that are so against you that they will do evil things. And you got to watch out for that, man. The proof's in the pudding. The Bible tells us it. And here you're hearing it from the mouth of an ex-witch. Let's keep this going.
I was studying all this witchcraft. I thought everything was wonderful. The same spirits, as you said in the opening, that gave me power began to turn on me.
Why would they turn on you?
Because the personality of spirits of darkness is not a nice, friendly personality. You can tell even by people that are deeply involved in witchcraft, the way they dress, the way they act, ghoulish and black nails and dark colors and very strange in their acting.
Is it like, I used to watch Westerns as a kid, and in the Western, a new guy comes into town and goes and plays poker, and he wins. And the next day he said, boy, these are country bumpkins. I'm going to take them for all they're worth. And he bets everything he has, and the game is fixed, and he loses everything he has.
Excellent. And that's exactly the way it happened, Sid. That's excellent. And that's exactly what had happened to me. I thought I had arrived. But as these spirits began to turn and to torment, the same spirits that gave me power to read cards and astral project and operate in the solical power, the psyche power, would turn on me.
What does that mean? What do you mean, turn on you?
It was as if all of a sudden the same voices that would say, this man is committing adultery, or this woman steals at work, or this girl's going to get married last year, when I was reading cards, would now say to me, you should die. It's better to just die. Said I would walk around with a gun in my mouth. I can remember the metal used to burn my tongue. I would just suck on a gun, waiting for the moment to stop this power that I had entered into, to stop the destruction of my mind.
Bro, it's not worth it. No amount of fame, no amount of money, no amount of instant gratification is ever worth the torment that you experience. You see, people like to put God out like he's the angry character. No, 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 no. Because he comes to save the world and not condemn it. The devil is the angry character. But in movies and TV shows, they try to make you feel bad for the devil. Oh, he just wanted to help. He wasn't understood. So that's why you have all these communities going around and these people being led and influenced by the devil because they're not understood. Oh, nobody understands me, so I'm going to go to this community or this crowd or this area where people understand me. And people are going everywhere for understanding, besides to the person, to the one who created you. Let's keep this going.
Increase. I would take needles, Sid, and people that were the worst drug addicts in town would not get high with me. I would go into a bathroom and take a needle and bang it into my arms. I had thick growths all the way down. Today you can see they're totally gone, but thick growths and abscesses all the way up and down my arms. In that drug state, I'd go out and become even more promiscuous, hoping that someone would just love me for a little while. And that's what our kids are doing today, Sid. They want somebody to love them for 15 minutes. That's why sex has become an everyday movement. I mean, it's nothing to be 11 years old and to go to bed with your boyfriend that you go to school with.
What? 11 years old and going to bed with the boyfriend you go to school with? I knew we were going and headed towards a very rough and bad direction. But I didn't know it was that bad. Because you really got to think about it. 11-year-olds sleeping in bed together? Under what adult's roof? That's why you really got to... There is an adult that is the head of a home that is allowing 11-year-olds to sleep together in the same bed. That's wild. That's wild. But she made a good point, man, just like I was saying. It's all about the youth, man. People don't feel understood. They just want to feel loved. They want to be a part of a community. Maybe it goes back to the parents. There's a lot of generational trauma, a lot of curses, a lot of things that people went through. But at some point, we got to be able to figure out how are we going to get over that so it doesn't become a crutch. Yeah, there was a time where a lot of the things that some of us went through as children coming up, you know, it was painful, it was hurtful, it was unfortunate, whatever the case may be. But there has to come a time where we have to learn to forgive, move on, and look towards Christ, man. Because ultimately that's going to be the only thing that is going to help you to be able to forgive. Because you got to know Christ. Because then you're going to know how much you've truly been forgiven out of all the crazy things you've done. Then you'll realize how much he's forgiven you. Then you'll learn, as we're supposed to be like him, you'll learn to start to forgive others in that same way. Let's keep this going.
So here I was nailing myself with needles, blood coming out, demon possessed from the spirits that I had invited inside, broken. In one particular time in all this story, they locked me up in a mental institution. Sid, they locked me behind a metal door. That's how crazy I got. My arms were full of needle marks. My nose was full of blood from cocaine. They put me in a room, locked me in because I had now had serum hepatitis, which you get from filthy needles. So they had locked me in a mental institution in the K ward in Meyer Memorial Hospital in Buffalo, New York, with needle marks, with mental crazy screaming in my head, giving me a liquid diet to try to clear up the hepatitis. When they finally let me out, I became pregnant again.
Oh, no.
This time I went to the Erie County State Building in Buffalo, New York, and got a legal abortion. So when I left that medical building that day after that abortion, and still to talk about it, it hurts a little. I remember sitting down for the first time and saying, I wanted that baby. That baby I wanted, because I felt like I had such a low opinion of myself that maybe this child could change things for me. Of course, it was too late. So here I was, I had had 3 abortions, a child that was taken away from me. I was hopelessly drug addicted, and the doctor comes to me and he says to me, you have chronic active hepatitis. Your enzymes are right off the hinges. You probably
What does that mean, chronic?
It means
Hepatitis.
that chronic means it's constantly going on. Active means it's happening right now. And hepatitis B is a very serious form of hepatitis. He told me that my liver was turning into a piece of leather. It was in that state that I decided that it didn't matter if I lived. I increased my drugs. I increased the insanity, increased the promiscuous life, increased hatred, was full of violence. And
You see how when you're already in a dark place and you get more bad news, you want to go even deeper into the dark place? That's the ploy of the enemy. That's what he wants. Like she said in the beginning, it makes it sound like it's all peaches and cream. But what he wants is for your inevitable fall. He's a liar. He's a thief. He's already been judged. He's already been destroyed. He's already been sent to hell. He wants you to continue in that dark place. He doesn't want you to say, hey, you know what? I've already been in a dark place. I just got some more dark information, some more bad news. I feel like I want to go even darker, but let me look to the light of the world. Let me look to Christ. Although it may not seem like I'm going to get some instantaneous answer, but let me give that a try. You see how even in how easy it is to not go to Christ when we're battling something. It's way easier to suppress and to push ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper and to a dark place. Let's keep this going.
totally suicidal. And then one day, standing in a bar, serving drinks, stealing from the place, everything they had, stealing and lying and getting high in the bathroom, a young woman approached me named Linda Smith. And you know what, Sid? She really believed in the power of God. She knew I'd experienced the power of darkness, that I knew it was out there, that it worked. But she wanted me to see a higher power, a greater power, that superseded the power that I was operating in.
So what did you think of this, Linda?
I thought that she talked the talk and didn't just, she walked the walk and just didn't talk the talk. A lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And Linda just showed the love of God in the way she acted. She didn't come out with all these spiritual lingo comments.
Yeah, but you told me as a kid you didn't care for this Jesus guy.
Because now I was at a place, she was introducing a man to me, a man that didn't rape you, beat you, use you, put you on the streets and stick needles in your arms. A man that was the Son of God who loved you for the way you are, not for 15 minutes, loved you for who you were, and who was able to reach down in that liver and reconstruct it, reach into that belly full of blood from bleeding ulcers, reconstruct and heal that, reach into a mind that was mentally ill, reconstruct that, reach into a heart that's broken, and put it all back together. Just because he's a man who loves mankind, because he was the Son of God.
How'd that happen?
She took me to church. She took me up to Pastor
Why
Tommy
did you
Reed's
go to church?
Because I was dying, and there was no hope. I figured I'm going to die anyway. Let's go see. And you know what really influenced me, to be very honest, in the
Yes.
last few minutes of this program? She acted like a person who didn't just put on a facade of Christianity. She lived it. She walked it. She didn't want to impress anybody, Sid. She wanted to introduce to a dying, demon-possessed tramp witch. She wanted to introduce that human being to a man who'd change her life.
You went in.
And that's the importance, man. And that's what people aren't getting. So that's probably why it's so hard for us as Christians and believers to get people to understand, is because maybe we're coming too harshly. God never came harsh. With loving kindness did he draw. So if our whole purpose is trying to be like Christ, we got to start learning how to love. We got to start learning how to be kind. We got to start learning how to be gentle, soft. Because you'll never get a message across any other way. It'll always just be fight. So here you come, this lady that was representing Christ, not looking at her terribly, not judging her, not having any negative thing to say about her. She was representing Christ, because Christ doesn't have any negative things to say about us. When we hear those negative thoughts come into our minds, that is not of Christ. That is the devil. Those are lies, and those are not truths. It's important that if we do confess ourselves to be a believer, people are focusing too much on the surface, what we look like, how we sound, all that stupid traditional stuff that has no effect. It has nothing to do with anything at all. But it's the hearts of man. It's the interior design of who God created us to be. That is what we should focus on, because that's the thing that people can truly sense. That behavior, that attitude, that character, that is what people can be drawn to, because it is the attitude of God, the character of God that drew us to him. So why wouldn't we be that to draw other people to him as well? We can't have the information. Like she said, talking the talk, not walking the walk. We can't just have all this information, know all this stuff about God, but we act like the devil. Food for thought. Let's keep this going.
To that church.
I
and
walked
what
in.
happened?
I was dress lewd. I had demons in my eyes. They were screaming all
Most
over out of my
pastors would
mind.
kick you out.
Well, some of them wouldn't have anything to do with me. But Sid, in a very quick moment, I know we're coming to the end of your program, in a quick moment, the man on the platform said, if you need God to touch you, if you need healing in your body, come on up. I took the longest walk of my life. When I got to the platform, and to this day it brings tears to my eyes, Jesus Christ was waiting for me. Within an instant, and I have medical reports, in a moment of a prayer of 1,800 strangers who didn't know my first name, the church stood forth, the blood-bought church began to sing the blood of Jesus. And in a moment, when they began to call on the name that people curse, the name of power and ability, my liver was healed, my stomach was healed, my mind was restored, and I left that church, it said, never to be the same.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I know, like a lot of people say, man, if he did it for someone else, he can definitely do it for you. But all she did was surrender a little bit. Sometimes we can get in our own way. Maybe she probably wouldn't have had that encounter. Maybe things could have went different if she just kept going down that dark path of despair. And that's what the devil wants, because he wants you to just destroy yourself. Lead you down the road, make it all fizzy and fuzzy and nice and looking good. And then when things really start hitting the fan, when things get real, then he leaves you there to destroy yourself, to be destroyed, like he is. But this is powerful, man. This is very powerful. Because there's a lot of people like this. You just may not believe, you may not really know who God is, so you don't give him a shot. And you get in your own way and prevent ourselves from being able to experience the true miracles, the true blessings, the wow factor, if you will, of Jesus Christ. That's all I got for you guys on this one, man. I appreciate it if you stayed all the way to the end. To the next one. I'm out.